So lately we've been seeing a big mistake that people are making in the Toronto market. Honestly, we meet with a lot of people in our day-to-day, and sometimes we'll sit down with somebody and even we'll be surprised by how the conversation goes or the things that are on their mind, what's happening in their plans, what isn't happening. But what am I talking about today? A lot of people meet with us and they have a big question. Yes, I'm in a condo and I want to maybe buy a house in the suburbs, for example, but I don't know what to do with the condo. Do I sell it? Do I rent it? And obviously, there's a lot of nuance to this question, right? A lot of factors to keep in mind and take into consideration. But what we find is that there's two camps of people. Number one, the people who bought it recently and whatever you want to call it, either overpaid, if it sounds a bit harsh, but paid more than what market value is today. Perhaps this was 2021 or 2022. And obviously, prices have dipped. They've come down. And now, if you want to sell it, you're selling at a loss or selling for less than what you bought it for. And to those people, albeit we're real estate agents and some people look at us with a surprised look on their face, but we truly have been recommending not to sell. And we feel that it's a huge mistake that families are making, letting go of that condo that they have built-in equity in order to fund their move. And I'm going to give you a few reasons why, and also exactly what we as a real estate team recommend our clients to do in that exact scenario. Because to be honest with you, there's 5 things that I want to touch on that I would do before considering selling. The number one thing that I'd recommend to do in those shoes is to go for a refinance or take out a home equity line of credit. Because you have been paying off the mortgage for a while, and because you entered the property market, let's say 5, 10 plus years ago sometimes, you probably have a good amount of built-in equity in your condo. Rather than selling it and getting use of that equity one time to dump into your next down payment, why not pull out a loan from the bank? If you rent this place out, you're in the unique position that because you have equity in it, you're probably going to get at least break even, if not positive cash flow, something that investors can't really get if they buy condos in this market at today's interest rate, etc. So why not take advantage of that? Why not have 2 assets moving forward instead of 1, especially when the first one is still being paid off, especially if you're cash flow positive? That extra surplus of money is probably going to cover whatever your interest rate is on that loan. And if that's the case, then you don't even have to have additional money coming out of your pocket. You can own that property. It's paying itself off and the loan off that you got to buy this next one. And it's a really, really good financial scenario to be in, especially in these kind of times where you want to be asset rich, where our cash is getting inflated away and it's not worth as much year by year. The second thing I'd recommend to do instead of selling first before you buy is go out there and place conditional offers. Instead of gearing the place up for sale and getting everything ready now, uprooting your whole lifestyle, well, what if you don't even find a place that you'd like to move to? Or what if moving ends up not making as much sense for you as you thought? Maybe property in the neighborhood that you're eyeing is more expensive than what you once thought. In that case, wouldn't you rather go find a property that makes sense for you if it's out there, lock in a price, and then make your offer to purchase that property conditional on selling your condo when the time is right? This way, you're 100% protected. If you don't commit to any house to buy, you don't have to put your condo on the market. And conversely, even if you do agree to buy the house, but your condo doesn't sell for whatever reason for the price that you want, you don't have to proceed with the home purchase. So when people say sell first and then buy, well, you can still do that without actually selling first and having the place sold, and now you're homeless essentially because you didn't find a place to move to in time. There's no need to put that added pressure and rush on yourself if you don't need to. And in this kind of market, you can definitely negotiate that condition in for a lot of property out there. Not every single one, because some sellers still feel that they have a good offering, that they have some leverage, but as we know, the cards lie with the buyers right now. Some people will say, well, where am I going to get the down payment from if I don't want to get a huge refinance or huge loan? And we like reminding people that rent-to-own options are still out there. Companies like Requity, or there's a few other ones here that service Ontario. To be honest, there's ones that service all provinces, most provinces in Canada, where you can put as little as 2% down. You can lock in a purchase price today, and your monthly payments are going to be more than fair market rent would be. But that's because the additional amount between fair market rent and what you're paying is all going to be contributed to your down payment at a later date. And you only have to actually get the loan, the mortgage amount for the house, usually 3 years down the line. Could even be more flexible than that. So why not hold on to your property, your condo, and not take a loan at all? Why not go see if you can arrange a rent to own with the next house where you don't even have to supply a big down payment now, plus you can lock in today's market rates if you do think that the market is going to go up from here. Next thing I want to point out is bridge financing. We shouldn't forget that, again, if you don't want to sell your place first and you want to go ahead and buy the next one, you do have an option where the bank, once they see that you have that new purchase agreement in place and you're going to be buying the next home, and they see that yours is on the market at a fair price and set to sell relatively soon, they can actually give you a loan in advance to cover that time where you're carrying two mortgages. It's called bridge financing. And in that scenario, you don't have to stress as much that you haven't sold the property first, because you have some time. You can stay in your condo, complete the move to the next place while you still have both sets of keys, and still have the loan and mortgage financing to close on the new place to be able to do it. But that's basically what I wanted to talk about today. We feel that the need to sell, the rush to sell, is not necessarily the best decision for everybody. And because of that, we suggest obviously sitting down and going through everything, doing an audit, the pros, the cons, what the net result here is for you, be it positive or negative in each scenario, if you hold it or if you do sell it. But we find that a lot of people don't even understand their options if they proceed with either direction. So having all of these tools that we mentioned in this video in your arsenal for when it comes time to make the decision should hopefully prove itself invaluable. Guys, that's it for us today. Hope you got something from the video. Can't wait to see you again next week, and take care in the meantime.